still remember the first night I found it. The secret that changed everything. It wasn't supposed to happen. I wasn't supposed to be there, standing in front of that old wooden door tucked away at the end of the hallway. It creaked when I touched the handle, like it was holding its breath, waiting for someone bold or foolish enough to open it. That someone turned out to be me. I didn't know why I was even drawn to it. Maybe curiosity, maybe boredom, or maybe some part of me already knew what waited behind it. Even if I wasn't ready to admit it. When I pushed the door open, I expected dust, maybe old boxes stacked on top of each other. What I didn't expect was color. Hanging neatly on a rail were dresses. Not just one or two, but dozens of them, glowing faintly in the sliver of moonlight slipping through a cracked window. Red, blue, soft pink, shimmering silver. Fabrics I couldn't even name. And below them in perfect rows were shoes, heels, sandals, delicate flats. My chest tightened. My first thought was, this isn't mine. My second thought was, then, why do I feel like it should be? I stepped inside and the smell of lavender hit me. Not strong, but enough to make me feel like I was trespassing in someone else's world. Secret world. My hand brushed against a dress. Silk, smooth, soft, almost like it was alive beneath my fingertips. I pulled it back quickly, heart racing. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't want this. But I did. And that was the moment, though I didn't know it yet, that everything began to shift. That closet, hidden away like a secret no one was supposed to find, would slowly unravel who I thought I was, and show me who I could be. After that night, I tried to pretend nothing had happened. I told myself the closet was just storage, just clothes, just fabric, that it didn't mean anything. But the truth stayed with me. The memory of it clung to my thoughts like a song I couldn't get out of my head. Most mornings started the same for me. Wake up, shower, throw on jeans and a plain t-shirt and head out the door. My life wasn't bad, just ordinary. A job at a small bookstore, shelves that smelled of paper and ink, customers who came and went with their coffee cups and tired eyes. The kind of life that feels comfortable but somehow incomplete. I lived with my cousin, Emily. She had inherited the old house from her grandmother, and when she asked if I wanted to move in to help with rent, it felt like the practical thing to do. She was a few years older than me, with a sharp wit and the kind of confidence I envied. Emily always seemed to know who she was. Me, not so much. The house itself had character. Creaky floors, tall windows, and hallways that stretched longer than they should have. That closet I stumbled upon. It wasn't in my room or Emily's, but tucked away at the far end of the upstairs corridor. A space neither of us had mentioned. I'd never even noticed it until that night. And I wasn't sure if Emily even knew what was inside. Still, life outside that door marched on. At work, I spent hours shelving books, pretending to read while sneaking glances at titles about identity, psychology, even fashion. Customers rarely noticed me. I was just the quiet one behind the counter. Invisible. And part of me liked it that way. But every night when I came home, I'd pass that hallway, and my eyes would drift toward the door. It was like it was calling me, whispering. Sometimes I'd slow my steps, almost daring myself to open it again. Other times I rushed past, heart pounding, as if ignoring it could erase the pull. Emily noticed, of course. She had this way of watching without saying anything, like she was waiting for me to slip up. One evening, as she flipped through a magazine on the couch, she looked at me and smirked. "You've been acting distracted lately," she said. Shrugged. "Just tired from work." Her eyes narrowed slightly, as if she didn't believe me. But she didn't push. Not yet. Instead, she went back to her magazine, and I went upstairs, trying to focus on anything but that door at the end of the hall. But at night, lying awake in my bed, the memory would return. The silky fabric beneath my hand. The rows of heels lined up perfectly. The faint scent of lavender. It was like a secret world was waiting for me, and I was the only one who knew. And maybe the scariest part. Deep down, I didn't want to forget it. Days blurred into weeks, but the feeling only grew stronger. I started catching myself looking at people differently. At the way Emily tossed her hair over her shoulder, at the way a customer adjusted her dress in the bookstore mirror. Little things I had never paid attention to before suddenly stood out, like pieces of a puzzle I didn't know I was missing. It wasn't envy. Not exactly. It was curiosity. A quiet ache, a whisper. What would it feel like? One Saturday morning, Emily was out with friends, and the house was silent. My heart thudded as I walked down the hall. I told myself I just wanted to peek. Just for a second. The handle was cool in my hand. The door opened with that same breathy creak. And there it was. The secret closet, waiting for me like it had never been touched. This time I stepped fully inside. The air smelled sweeter, stronger than before. Sunlight caught the edges of sequins and lace, making the fabrics shimmer like stars. My hands hovered, trembling, before I finally touched a dress again. The fabric slipped through my fingers, delicate, alive. I whispered to myself, "Why do I feel like this?" No answer, of course. Just the silence of clothes that weren't mine. Clothes I couldn't stop thinking about. And then footsteps. Panic shot through me. I stumbled out of the closet, closed the door, and darted back to my room just as Emily's voice called from downstairs. She was early. My heart wouldn't stop racing. I told myself I'd been reckless, stupid. But mixed with the fear was something else. Excitement. That night, I lay in bed wide awake, realizing something I'd never dared to admit before. Maybe I wasn't afraid of what was in that closet. Maybe I was afraid of what it meant about me. From that day, my normal world didn't feel so normal anymore. It felt fragile, like a glass that could shatter with one wrong move. And deep down, I knew it was only a matter of time before something, or someone, pushed me across the line I'd been too scared to cross. It happened on a rainy afternoon. The kind where the sky feels heavy, and the house groans like it's tired of standing. Emily and I were supposed to meet friends for dinner, but the storm knocked out power across the neighborhood. With candles flickering in the living room, we sat on the couch, listening to the rain pound against the windows. Emily leaned back, sipping wine, and smirked at me. "You've been weird lately." Blink. "Weird." She tilted her head, studying me like she was solving a puzzle. "Distracted. Jumpy. Like you're hiding something." Her words made my chest tighten. Did she know? Had she seen me near the closet? Forced a laugh. "I'm fine. Just tired from work." But her eyes didn't waver. She took another sip, then set her glass down. "You know," she said slowly, "Grandma used to say that house secrets always come out sooner or later." The way she said it, calm, knowing, sent a chill down my spine. I mumbled something about needing more candles and escaped upstairs. My feet carried me down the hallway almost without thinking. The closet door stood there, shadowed, quiet. My heart pounded. I knew I should just go back. But instead I opened it. Inside, the dresses swayed faintly, as if stirred by the storm outside. I stepped in, closing the door behind me. Surrounded by color and fabric, I felt safe, like the storm couldn't reach me here. I don't know how long I stood there, running my hands along the soft fabrics, breathing in lavender. Long enough to lose track of time. Long enough that I didn't hear the footsteps until it was too late. The door creaked open. "Aha!" Emily's voice sang softly. I froze, my hand clutching a hanger. My mouth went dry. She leaned against the doorway, one eyebrow raised. "So this is where you've been sneaking off to?" I wanted to disappear, to melt into the floor. My voice stuttered out. It's not what it looks like." Emily smirked, stepping inside. "Really? Because it looks like you've been raiding Grandma's secret closet." I blinked at her. "Grandma's?" She said, brushing her hand across a dress like it was nothing unusual. "She used to keep her favorite things in here. Clothes, shoes, stuff she didn't want Grandpa finding. After she passed, I just left it. Too many memories." My heart was racing so hard I thought it might give me away. I didn't mean." Emily turned, studying me with sharp eyes softened by something I couldn't place. Amusement, curiosity, kindness. "You touched them, didn't you?" she asked, her voice teasing. I swallowed hard. My silence was answer enough. Her smile widened. "You know, if you wanted to try one on, you could have just asked." My stomach dropped. "What? No, I didn't." "Oh, come on," she said, her tone light but pointed. "I'm not blind. You've been circling this closet for weeks. And honestly, I'm surprised it took you this long." I shook my head, fumbling. "Emily, this isn't." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Relax. I'm not judging you. In fact," her eyes gleamed mischievously, "I think it'd be fun." Fun. That word lodged in my chest. She couldn't be serious. But she was. Before I could protest, she plucked a soft lavender dress from the rack and held it out. "Here, try it." My hands stayed frozen at my sides. I can't." Her grin softened into something gentler. "You can. And you should. No one's here but me. What's the worst that could happen?" I wanted to run, to laugh it off. But the truth, some part of me wanted this more than anything. I stared at the dress in her hands, trembling. Emily tilted her head. "If you don't take it, I'll just assume you're scared." She knew me too well. I hated backing down from a challenge. And she was daring me. Softly, teasingly, but daring me nonetheless. My hand reached out slowly, almost against my will, and touched the fabric. Warmth spread through my chest. Emily's smile widened. "That's it." She pressed the dress into my hands. "Go on. Put it on. You can use my room." My legs felt like lead as I carried the dress down the hallway. My heart was a drumbeat in my ears. In Emily's room, I shut the door and just stood there, staring at myself in the mirror, the lavender dress draped across my arms. My reflection looked back at me. Plain shirt, jeans, nervous eyes. The kind of person no one noticed. But the dress, it looked alive. Like it belonged somewhere else. On someone else. My breath shook as I whispered, "What am I doing?" But my hands were already moving. I pulled the dress over my head. The fabric slid down my skin like water, soft and strange, both foreign and familiar. My body tensed, but when I looked in the mirror, really looked, something inside me shifted. I didn't look like her. Not yet. But I didn't look like me either. Emily's knock came gently at the door. "Well, let's see." My throat tightened. "No, I can't." "Yes, you can," she said, her voice patient, coaxing. "Open the door." For a moment I thought about locking it, pretending this never happened. But then, I turned the knob. Emily's eyes widened slightly as I stepped out, trembling. Then she smiled, not mocking but almost proud. "See? Beautiful." My cheeks burned. "Stop. I'm serious," she said softly. "You look right." The word echoed in me. "But..." And that was the moment I realized this wasn't just a game. This wasn't just fun. This was the beginning of something I couldn't walk away from. The lavender dress haunted me. Even after I slipped it off that first night and shoved it back into the closet, I couldn't shake the way it had felt. The way Emily's eyes had softened when she said, "You look right." Those words kept echoing, replaying at the quietest moments. At the bookstore counter while brushing my teeth, lying awake at night staring at the ceiling. But with every echo came something darker. Guilt. Shame. The voice in my head that hissed, "You shouldn't want this. You're not supposed to feel this way." I thought maybe Emily would drop it. That she'd let the moment fade like an embarrassing joke. But of course she didn't. A few nights later, she appeared in my doorway holding a pair of heels. Black, sleek, with delicate straps. She leaned against the frame, grinning. "Thought you might need the complete look," she teased. Groaned. "Emily." "What?" "I'm helping you. Trust me, the dress deserves better than sneakers." I shook my head. "I'm not doing this again." Her eyebrow arched. And yet you haven't stopped thinking about it, have you?" He crawled up my neck. She wasn't wrong. Emily stepped into the room, setting the shoes down at the foot of my bed. "Just try them. For me. 2 minutes. Then you can take them off and pretend this never happened." I stared at the shoes, my pulse hammering. Part of me wanted to shove them away, to shut the door on this whole thing before it swallowed me whole. But another part, the part one was terrified to admit existed, ached to slip my feet inside. I muttered, "You're impossible. Flattery will get you everywhere," she said with a wink. Reluctantly, I sat down and pulled them closer. My hands trembled as I unbuckled the straps. The shoes looked too small, too fragile for someone like me. But when I slid my foot inside, it fit almost perfectly. Emily clapped her hands softly. "Yes. Stand up." I shot her a look. "I'll fall. Then I'll catch you," she said simply. Her confidence disarmed me. Slowly I rose. The world tilted, my balance wobbling. But Emily's hand steadied my arms. She looked at me like I wasn't ridiculous at all, but something else. "See," she whispered. "Not so scary." I took a shaky step, then another. Awkward, clumsy, but each movement sent a strange thrill through me. By the third step, I was almost laughing at myself. Emily grinned. "Look at you. Natural." I shook my head, covering my face with my hands. "I look stupid." She gently tugged my hands down. Her eyes held mine. "No. You look like someone figuring out who they are. And there's nothing stupid about that." The sincerity in her voice caught me off guard. For a moment I couldn't speak. That night after she left, I sat on my bed staring at the shoes. I should have given them back. I should have hidden them away. Instead, I placed them carefully in my closet, like a secret I wasn't ready to let go of. Over the next week, Emily kept pushing, always lightly, always with that teasing smile that made it impossible to tell if she was serious or just having fun. One evening, she dragged me into her room where a small vanity mirror stood surrounded by half-used makeup products. "Sit," she commanded. I hesitated. "Why?" "Because," she said, holding up a mascara wand like a sword, "no transformation is complete without the finishing touch." My chest tightened. "Emily, Relax. I'm not turning you into a drag queen. Just a little experiment." She patted the chair, and against my better judgment I sat. Her hands were steady as she worked. A brush swept softly across my eyelids, tickling my skin. The mascara wand fluttered against my lashes. Lip balm, tinted just slightly pink, pressed against my mouth. "Don't move," she murmured, so close I could feel her breath. I wanted to close my eyes, to run from the intimacy of it. But I couldn't. Finally, she spun the chair toward the mirror. Okay. Look. I almost didn't recognize the reflection. The changes were small. Subtle color on my lips, darker lashes, the faintest blush on my cheeks. But it shifted something. For the first time, I didn't just see myself wearing something different. Saw someone else. Someone softer. Someone I wasn't sure I hated. My throat tightened. That's not me. Emily's hand rested gently on my shoulder. Maybe it's more you than you think. Her words sank deep. Of course, the shame followed. Later that night, I scrubbed the makeup off in a frenzy, watching the colors smear into the sink. My reflection returned to normal, and for a brief moment I felt relief. But when I crawled into bed, I couldn't stop thinking about the person I'd seen in the mirror. The truth was undeniable now. Part of me wanted to see them again. Emily seemed to sense it because she never let the game end. She'd casually leave a necklace on my nightstand, a silky scarf draped over the back of my chair, a bottle of nail polish perched on the bathroom counter like it had magically appeared. Always waiting, always daring me, and every time I resisted for a while. But eventually curiosity won. I'd slip on the scarf, paint one nail, fasten the necklace, and just look. Not for long. Not enough for anyone else to notice. But enough for me to feel that rush, the dizzy mix of fear and excitement that was becoming addictive. The more I tried to bury it, the stronger it grew. By the end of the month, my experiments had become routine. At night, when the house was quiet, I'd slip into the secret closet, sometimes just for a few minutes, sometimes for hours, trying on different pieces, layering fabrics, letting myself breathe in that lavender world. And though I never admitted it out loud, I knew Emily knew. Because every morning she'd give me that little smile, the one that said she could see right through me, and she never said a word. Not yet. But something told me she was waiting for the moment when pretending wasn't enough anymore. And deep down, so was I. I thought the guilt would swallow me, that the shame would win eventually, pulling me back into the gray, ordinary version of myself. But instead, something unexpected happened. The more time I spent in that secret closet, the less heavy it felt. At first, I tiptoed inside like a thief. But now, each time I opened that creaking door, it was like stepping into sunlight. The fabrics didn't whisper danger anymore. They whispered belonging. One Saturday morning, Emily knocked on my door, holding a steaming mug of coffee. She pushed inside without waiting for permission as usual, and plopped the mug onto my desk. "You're coming with me today," she said. I frowned. "Where?" "Thrift shop. There's a sale." And blinked. Since when do I care about thrift sales? Her lips curled into a mischievous smile. "Since now. Trust me." I should have argued, but something in her tone, firm, playful, a little knowing, left me too curious to resist. The thrift shop was tucked between a laundromat and a bakery, the kind of place that smelled like dust and cinnamon. Racks of clothes filled the narrow aisles, colors bleeding into each other like a rainbow caught in clutter. Emily walked confidently ahead, plucking hangers off racks with a practiced eye. I trailed behind, pretending I was just there to humor her. But when she held up a soft cardigan and pressed it against my chest, I froze. "What do you think?" she asked casually. I glanced around nervously. "Here." "Really?" She rolled her eyes. "Relax. No one's paying attention." Her confidence was contagious. Slowly I let myself look, not just at what she picked but at everything. Dresses with delicate patterns, skirts that swayed gently when touched, shoes lined along the floor in mismatched pairs. For the first time in public, I wasn't just a bystander. I was imagining, what would it feel like? Would it fit? Would it suit me? Emily noticed, of course. She always did. By the time we left, a small bag swung in my hand. Inside, one scarf, one blouse, and my secret favorite, a soft floral skirt. Back home, Emily gave me a look that said she knew exactly what I'd do when the house was quiet. And she wasn't wrong. That evening, after she left to meet friends, I locked myself in my room and pulled the skirt from the bag. It was light, airy, almost weightless. When I slipped it on, my reflection startled me. Not because it looked perfect, but because it looked free. For the first time, I smiled at the person staring back at me. The days that followed blurred into something new. My routine still looked the same on the surface. Work, home, quiet nights. But underneath, everything had shifted. At the bookstore, I caught myself humming as I stocked shelves, imagining the swish of fabric instead of denim around my legs. At night, I experimented with combinations from the closet, layering scarves, trying on necklaces, painting one nail then scrubbing it off before morning. And Emily, always watching, finally broke her silence one night over dinner. "You're different lately," she said, twirling pasta on her fork. Froze. "Different how?" Her eyes softened. "Lighter. Happier. Like you're finally letting yourself breathe." I wanted to deny it, to brush it off with a joke. But instead I just stared at my plate, my cheeks warm. "Maybe," I whispered. Emily smiled knowingly. "Good. About time." Her encouragement emboldened me. Slowly, I stopped resisting when she nudged me further. "Try this shade of lipstick. Let me fix your hair. Walk in the heels again, no, slower this time." Every step was terrifying, but every step also made me feel more alive than I'd ever felt before. One evening, she surprised me with a name. "You know," she said, tilting her head thoughtfully, "you don't always feel like you. At least, not the version I grew up with." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "I mean," she said carefully, "sometimes I see someone else. Someone softer. Someone who deserves her own name." Her words made my chest ache. Name. The idea felt too real, too permanent. And yet, the thought of it lit a quiet spark in me. "I don't know," I murmured. Emily smirked. "That's okay. She'll come to you when she's ready." Weeks passed, and my secret world was no longer something I tiptoed around. It was something I craved. Something that steadied me when everything else felt gray. The shame wasn't gone, but it had changed. Instead of stopping me, it sharpened the thrill. The quiet rebellion of slipping into a skirt while the rest of the world thought they knew who I was. And through it all, Emily remained my silent co-conspirator. Sometimes teasing, sometimes guiding, sometimes just sitting on the edge of the bed watching me stumble through new steps. Never pushing too far, but never letting me back away either. One night, as I twirled clumsily in front of the mirror in a borrowed dress, Emily clapped softly. "There," she said. "That smile. That's the real you." And for the first time I didn't argue. For the first time I believed her. That was the night I realized something terrifying and beautiful. I didn't just want to borrow this identity anymore. I wanted to be it. I wish I could say the secret stayed mine forever. That I kept slipping into that closet, trying things on under the quiet safety of night, and then neatly putting everything back like nothing ever happened. But secrets have a way of leaking through the cracks. And mine did spectacularly. It happened one Saturday afternoon. I thought I had the house to myself. My parents had gone to visit relatives, and my sister was out with friends. The silence was a luxury, a rare gift, and I wasted no time. I went to the closet, heart thumping in anticipation rather than fear now. I had chosen a dress days ago, a pale blue one with little pearl buttons down the front. Every time I'd seen it hanging there, it seemed to whisper to me, Pick me. Try me. I slipped into it carefully, fastening the buttons one by one, watching the fabric drape over me in the mirror. When I stepped back, I froze. Didn't look wrong. That was the most shocking part. It should have looked ridiculous. An oversized boy in a delicate dress. But instead it looked right. Not perfect, not polished, but enough to stir something in me that I couldn't ignore anymore. My shoulders softened. My face seemed calmer. My body felt at ease. I tried on shoes next. The heels were clumsy, awkward, and I nearly tripped, but when I straightened myself, standing taller, the reflection smiled back at me with something I hadn't seen in a long time. Peace. And then I heard it. Voice. What are you doing? Froze. The door was open. My sister stood there, wide-eyed, mouth half open in shock. She had come home early. Time stopped. The air felt heavy, pressing down on me until I could barely breathe. My throat dried. My heart hammered so hard I thought it might burst through my chest. I tried to speak, but nothing came out. Her eyes scanned me from head to toe, landing on the shoes, then the dress, then my trembling hands clutching the fabric like it could protect me. And then she laughed. Not cruelly, but in that nervous, uncertain way people laugh when they don't know what else to do. Are you serious? She asked. The words cut. Not because of what she said, but because of what they meant. The secret was gone. I tore at the buttons, fumbling to get the dress off, muttering, "Don't tell anyone, please don't." But my sister didn't move. She just stared, the laughter fading into silence. Finally, she whispered, "Why?" It was such a small word, but it carried the weight of everything. Why was I doing this? Why did I feel the need? Why couldn't I stop? And for the first time I said it out loud. Because it feels like me. The words tumbled out, shaky but undeniable. And once they were out, I couldn't pull them back. My sister blinked, stunned, and for a moment I thought she would scream or run or worse, tell. But instead she did something I never expected. She closed the door, slowly, quietly, and said, "Then you better finish getting dressed before Mom and Dad get home." I stood frozen, dress half off, confusion swirling in my head. Did she mean it as support? Or mockery? I didn't know. But her eyes, sharp, knowing, didn't look cruel. They looked protective. It was the first time I realized that maybe, just maybe, my secret wasn't mine alone anymore. But of course, one discovery is never the end. It's only the beginning of the storm. Because secrets, once cracked open, never stay contained for long. The closet had become my sanctuary, but also my prison. Every night, I slipped inside like a thief, heart racing, body trembling, fingers brushing against satin and lace like they held answers I wasn't brave enough to speak out loud. For a while it was enough, just trying, just experimenting, just existing in that secret world when the house was silent and no one was watching. But secrets, they don't stay silent forever. It began with small cracks, a door not fully shut, a faint scent of lavender clinging to my skin, a smudge of lipstick I thought I'd wiped away, little pieces of evidence left behind, like breadcrumbs leading to a truth I wasn't ready to share. And then came the moment that shattered everything. I had been careless that night. Too bold. Too desperate. I had slipped on a soft pastel dress, the one that always made my reflection feel like a stranger. And yet, somehow, the most familiar version of me I had ever seen. My lips were painted. My hair brushed forward to soften my face. I didn't even hear the footsteps in the hallway. The door swung open. For a split second, time froze. My breath caught, my body rigid, my reflection still staring back at me as though mocking me. This is who you are. This is what you wanted. Now there's no hiding it. And standing in the doorway, eyes wide, mouth slightly open, was someone who wasn't supposed to see. Shame flooded me so fast I thought I'd drown. My first instinct was to rip everything off, to stammer out some excuse, to pretend it was a joke, a dare, a mistake. But my body wouldn't move. My hands clung to the fabric like it was the only thing keeping me alive. Silence filled the room, heavy and suffocating. In that silence, my heart broke. Because I knew, in that single instant, the secret closet wasn't mine anymore. My safe place had been invaded, exposed, ruined. But there was something else too, something I couldn't name yet. Because instead of laughter, instead of anger, instead of disgust, their eyes softened. And that was worse somehow. 'Cause it meant they saw me. Not the version I carefully kept hidden, but the one I couldn't stop from surfacing. And being seen, truly seen, terrified me more than anything. I couldn't breathe. The dress clung to my skin like a confession, every thread screaming the truth I had worked so hard to bury. My legs trembled, my lips parted, but no words came out. The figure in the doorway didn't move either. Their eyes locked onto me. Not on the dress, not on the lipstick, not on the trembling hands, but on me. And that was unbearable. "Wait," I finally whispered, my voice hoarse, fragile, like a candle flickering before going out. "Don't say anything." But silence said everything. Panic rose fast, too fast. My mind scrambled for excuses. Maybe I could laugh it off, say it was a prank, claim I was just messing around. I could tear off the dress and shove it into the back of the closet, slam the door, and pretend none of this had ever happened. But deep down I knew. This wasn't something I could laugh away anymore. This wasn't something I could erase. Because once you're seen, you can never go back to being invisible. My chest tightened. I wanted to scream. I wanted to vanish. I wanted to rewind time and lock that damn door, to stay safe in the shadows where no one could touch me, where no one could know. Instead, I stood frozen, half a ghost, half a stranger, waiting for the verdict. And then they spoke. I didn't know. The words hit harder than a slap. Not cruel, not mocking, just soft. Almost too soft. And that softness broke me. Because I would have preferred anger, laughter, disgust. Anything but this gentle crack in the world. Tears burned behind my eyes. My throat closed up. I shook my head violently, desperately. You're not supposed to see this. You're not supposed to see me. But they already had. I don't remember much of what happened after that. Just fragments, shards of a moment that cut me no matter how I tried to piece them together. My voice, breaking as I begged them to leave. Their hesitation, the way their hand hovered near the doorknob like they wanted to stay but knew they shouldn't. And then the click of the door closing again. I collapsed against the mirror, staring at the cracked reflection of someone I didn't recognize anymore. The makeup smeared down my face with tears. The fabric clung to me like a second skin. And for the first time, the closet didn't feel like a safe place. Felt like a cage. That night, I tore everything off. Every dress, every trace of lipstick, every shred of fabric that had once given me comfort. I stuffed them back into boxes, shoved the boxes into the darkest corners I could find. But no matter how deep I buried them, the truth stayed. I couldn't undo what they saw. I couldn't silence the reflection that still whispered every time I closed my eyes. And I couldn't keep pretending this part of me didn't exist. The secret had been dragged into the light. And I hated it. I hated the exposure, the vulnerability, the fear that tomorrow would be different, that whispers would follow me, that pity would stain me, that I had lost control of the one thing I thought I could contain. But beneath all that hatred was something else. Question. Possibility. Terrifying, aching what if? What if being seen wasn't the end? What if it was the beginning? The breaking point had come. The closet was no longer a sanctuary, no longer a hiding place. It was just 4 walls filled with fabric and ghosts. And me, caught between who I was, who I pretended to be, and who I might become. Their eyes locked on mine, and for a moment, I forgot how to breathe. I wanted to disappear, to melt into the floor, to erase the image that was now burned into their memory. I braced myself for the words I thought would follow, the ones I had always feared. "What's wrong with you? Why are you like this? You disgust me." But the words never came. Instead, there was only silence. A silence so loud it made my ears ring. My hands trembled as I clutched the hem of the dress, twisting the fabric until my knuckles turned white. It's not what it looks like," I whispered, the lie choking me even as it left my lips. Their brow furrowed, but not in anger, more in confusion. And something else I couldn't place. They took a hesitant step forward, their voice barely audible. "It looks like you're you." The words pierced me deeper than any accusation ever could. A flood of emotions crashed through me all at once. Relief, terror, shame, longing. My throat closed up, my chest heaving as I tried to form a response. But nothing came out. Just the sound of my own shaky breath, echoing in the room like a confession. They sat down slowly on the edge of the bed, their eyes never leaving me. "How long?" they asked softly. I swallowed hard, my voice breaking. "Well, I don't know. Can't stop. I didn't mean for you to see. Please, just forget this." My voice cracked on the last word, and I turned away, unable to bear the weight of their gaze. But then, something happened that I wasn't ready for. Instead of walking out, instead of laughing, instead of telling me I was broken, they whispered, "I don't want to forget. I want to understand." The dress suddenly felt heavier on my body, like chains. My reflection in the mirror seemed cruel, mocking me with the truth I had kept buried. Tears welled in my eyes as I shook my head. "You can't understand. No one can. I don't even understand." And then the tears spilled over, hot and relentless, streaking down my painted cheeks until the makeup smeared, leaving behind the messy evidence of my unraveling. They stood, crossed the room slowly, and for a terrifying moment I thought they might reach for the fabric, tear it off, strip me back to the version of myself the world wanted to see. But they didn't. Instead, they reached for my hands. I froze as their fingers wrapped around mine, gentle but firm, grounding me. "You don't have to explain everything," they said softly. "You don't have to have it figured out right now. I just see you. And I don't hate what I see." Those words undid me completely. I collapsed into their arms, my body shaking, sobs tearing out of me in raw, unfiltered waves. For the first time, the closet door was open, not just literally but inside me. My secret wasn't secret anymore. My shame wasn't mine alone to carry. And in the strangest, scariest way, that felt like freedom. The days after the door opened felt like walking through a storm. I kept waiting for the explosion, for shouting, for shame, for the crushing weight of rejection. I braced myself for whispers, for distance, for the walls of the world to collapse around me. But instead there was silence. And silence is dangerous. Because in silence, your mind becomes the loudest voice in the room. I tore myself apart in those quiet hours, replaying the moment over and over again, convinced that everything I had built, even the smallest fragments of my secret self, was ruined forever. I considered locking it all away for good, pretending it never happened, forcing myself back into the version of me everyone expected. But something had shifted. Once a secret has been seen, it can't be unseen. For the first time, I wasn't just hiding from the world. I was hiding from someone who knew. And strangely, that made the closet feel different. Not a prison, not a sanctuary, but a cocoon. I began to realize, maybe I wasn't breaking apart. Maybe I was transforming. The change wasn't sudden. It wasn't beautiful, not at first. It was messy, painful, awkward. There were days I couldn't look in the mirror. Days I wanted to scream at my reflection. Days I thought I had ruined everything beyond repair. But then there were also moments, small, quiet ones that carried me forward. Like the first time I wore something soft without trembling. The first time I painted my lips and didn't immediately wipe it away. The first time I caught my reflection and instead of shame, felt relief. Those were the moments that stitched me back together. Not with the same thread as before, but with something stronger, something real. But acceptance wasn't just about me. The hardest part was watching someone else grapple with my truth, seeing confusion in their eyes, the unspoken questions, the hesitation. Yet there was also patience, a strange kind of quiet acceptance that told me, you don't have to hide from me anymore. That broke me open in ways I didn't expect. Because for so long, I had been afraid that if anyone knew, I'd be abandoned, cast out, left to drown in the weight of my own reflection. But instead, here was someone who stayed, who didn't laugh, who didn't condemn, who simply stayed. And maybe that was enough to start believing I could stay too. The real transformation wasn't in the clothes. It wasn't in the lipstick or the dresses or the way I learned to walk softer, lighter, freer. The real transformation was in my heart, learning to quiet the voice that told me I was wrong, broken, unworthy. Learning to replace shame with curiosity. Learning that acceptance didn't mean becoming someone new. It meant finally giving myself permission to be the person I always was. And for the first time, I didn't feel like an imposter in my own skin. For the first time, felt like me. The days after being discovered felt like walking through fog. Every sound echoed. Every glance felt sharper than it should have been. The air in the house carried a strange tension, as though walls themselves knew my secret now. For the first time, the closet stayed closed. I couldn't bring myself to open it. My safe place had been compromised. Every time I reached for the door, my hand froze, trembling, remembering the shock in their eyes, the silence that followed, the weight of being seen. I thought it was over. That part of me, that secret self, was dead. But it wasn't. It lingered in quiet ways. In the way my skin tingled when I brushed against soft fabric at the market. In the way my heart skipped at the faint scent of perfume in passing strangers. In the way my reflection still haunted me when I turned away from mirrors too fast. And then, unexpectedly, came a small gesture. One morning, left neatly folded on my bed, was a scarf. Soft, delicate, with a shade of lilac that seemed too intentional to be random. My chest tightened as I picked it up, fingers trembling against the fabric. There was no note, no explanation. Just the scarf. Felt like permission. I wore it that night, alone, standing in front of the mirror with tears in my eyes. Not because I was fully brave, but because someone somehow hadn't turned away. That was the beginning. The transformation didn't come in one sweeping change. It wasn't a single dramatic moment of standing tall and declaring my truth. Well, it was smaller than that. Softer. It came in stolen hours of quiet, where the shame slowly loosened its grip. It came in whispered conversations where I didn't have to hide behind jokes or silence. It came in the gentle acceptance that maybe, just maybe, I didn't have to keep destroying myself to fit into a version of me that had never felt right. And then, one evening, I returned to the mirror. Not as an intruder, not as someone playing dress-up, but as someone reaching for themselves. This time I didn't rush. I painted my lips with care, brushed my hair with intention, slipped into fabric that didn't just cover me but expressed me. And when I looked at the reflection staring back, It wasn't perfect. It wasn't polished. But it was me. For the first time I smiled. Not because I was fully free, but because I was finally stepping toward it. The acceptance came not from the world outside, but from the war inside finally softening. From realizing that even if others never fully understood, I couldn't keep running from myself. The closet was no longer a hiding place. It had become a doorway, and stepping through it felt like breathing for the very first time. The breaking point should have destroyed me. It should have left me curled up in shame, begging the world to forget what it had seen. But instead, it became the beginning. In the days that followed that night, I felt stripped bare, like the clothes weren't just fabric anymore, but skin I couldn't peel away. The memory of that open doorway clung to me, a reminder that my secret life was no longer invisible. For the first time, I couldn't run back into the shadows and pretend it was all just curiosity, because someone had seen me. And the strangest thing, the world didn't collapse. The house didn't crumble. The sky didn't fall. I woke up the next morning still breathing, still standing, still me. Only now, the me I had always hidden wasn't just mine anymore. At first, I resisted. I tried to bury it deeper, tried to convince myself it was just a mistake, a phase, a sickness I could starve if I just denied it hard enough. But denial had teeth. It bit into me, clawed at me, left me raw and restless. The more I pushed it away, the stronger it became, whispering in mirrors, tugging at my fingertips when I brushed past fabrics in the store, echoing in my chest when I closed my eyes at night. And then came the voice I didn't expect. Not my own, theirs. Instead of mocking, instead of accusing, instead of shutting me out, they asked me something simple, something terrifying. Is this who you are? The question hit harder than any insult could have. Because I didn't have an answer. Not then. But slowly, painfully, I began to realize that maybe the answer wasn't a single word. Maybe it wasn't about labels or rules or categories. Maybe it was about permission, the permission to exist without apology. That realization didn't happen overnight. Came in fragments. A conversation whispered in the dark. A mirror I didn't look away from. A dress I didn't tear off immediately. Small rebellions against the version of myself I had been told to protect at all costs. And with every step, I began to transform. Not because I changed into someone new, but because I finally allowed myself to be. The closet that had once been my prison started to feel different. No longer a place of hiding, but a place of becoming. When I stood inside it now, I didn't feel shame clinging to the walls. I felt possibility. Each garment wasn't a costume anymore. It wasn't a disguise. It was an echo of me, waiting to be heard. And slowly, piece by piece, I began to listen. I learned to paint my lips without trembling. I learned to walk with a different rhythm. Not because I had practiced, but because it was natural, waiting to surface. I learned to breathe easier when my reflection looked back at me. Not like a stranger, but like an old friend finally returning home. The transformation wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, almost tender. Like water wearing away at stone, reshaping me in ways I didn't notice until one day I woke up and realized I wasn't afraid anymore. And in that absence of fear, something even greater bloomed. Acceptance. Not from the world, not yet, but from myself. And maybe that was the only acceptance that truly mattered. The dust of heartbreak had finally settled, but in its place lay a silence that felt both heavy and freeing. Aisha sat by her window, the morning sun spilling through the glass, painting her in soft gold. For the first time in months, her chest didn't ache with the weight of betrayal. Instead, there was a steady calm, like the ocean after a violent storm. She thought back to every tear, every restless night, every moment she questioned her worth because of Zion's betrayal. For so long, she believed she was broken, that his lies had shattered her beyond repair. But the truth revealed itself slowly, like dawn creeping over the horizon. She was never broken. She was wounded, yes, but wounds heal. And in that healing, she had found a strength she never knew existed. Her revenge had been swift, cutting, and final. She didn't need to scream or beg him to see her pain. She let her actions speak louder than any words could. The world Zion thought he had control over slipped from his hands, and with it, the last threads of power he had over her. Aisha didn't win because she destroyed him. She won because she chose herself. Now her life was hers again. She filled her days with purpose, writing, painting, walking under open skies. She reconnected with friends she had neglected, embraced laughter she once thought she'd lost. She looked in the mirror and saw someone new, someone stronger, someone who had bled, endured, and risen. Forgiveness didn't come overnight. At first, she wanted nothing more than for Zion to drown in his guilt. But over time, she realized clinging to that anger was chaining her to the very past she wanted to escape. Forgiveness wasn't for him. It was for her. Letting go meant freedom. And with that freedom, Aisha finally stepped out of the shadows of betrayal into the light of her own becoming. Her story wasn't just about heartbreak, it was about resilience. About the courage to face devastation and still choose to rise. She carried scars, yes, but they weren't signs of weakness. They were proof that she had survived. Proof that she had written her ending, not him. One evening, as she walked along the beach, she whispered into the wind, "I am enough." The waves seemed to echo back her truth, crashing and retreating, as if the universe itself affirmed her strength. She didn't need anyone's validation anymore. She didn't need revenge to feel whole. She had herself, and that was more than enough. The chapter closed, not with bitterness, but with peace. Aisha had learned that sometimes the greatest revenge is simply living well, loving yourself, and refusing to let betrayal define your future. Her final thought lingered in the air like a vow. I will never lose myself again. And with that, she smiled, ready to embrace the life ahead. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel.